Hello, friends. Dr. Graves here. Starting a bit late here. I just have a few minutes on Tuesday. I was going to waive today's live video because I'm starting this Thursday a 12:15 live stream. It's going to go for the next month. So right on through Thanksgiving holiday and before Christmas, we're going to run about 4 weeks. Covering the topic of the keto diet for what I'm calling non-responders. And I hope maybe you can join us for that and tune in live to get some interactive question and answers. I'm going to be covering the basics of the keto diet, but really it's going to be focused on why do some people not get all the success that they're hearing about now that the keto diet is really ramping up in terms of popularity. There are a lot of people out there who are embarking on it. There's a lot of people having success, and there's a lot of people who are getting frustrated. And so I'm going to start right off this Thursday at 12:15, high noon, a little after the hour, starting on that topic. So I'm going to cover some of the basics as to why and those of you who aren't getting success, why that might be and what you can do about it. And then each week we'll be kind of rounding up together, getting together again and discussing some different topics related to that. I'm hoping to give some very practical pointers, some sample meal guides. We'll be looking at what kinds of things prevent success in terms of personal issues, in terms of things like hormone balance, etc. So I hope you can join us for that. I'm going to talk just today briefly about my experience doing a 30-day no dairy diet, which ended this week. So I embarked on this after doing a video on the problems with consuming dairy and why you may want to consider cutting back on dairy or just being a little bit cautious if you suffer from some specific issues. Dairy allergies are very common. Blood sugar problems are very common, and especially in individuals who are probably consuming a lot of dairy. And so the choices that you make when you eat dairy is going to make a difference. And so I decided to go 30 days no dairy so that I could just kind of detox from that. Not that the dairy I was eating is bad necessarily, but I wanted to see how I did. And I felt like it was a good exercise in helping me change up my eating patterns and experience, what is it like to completely eliminate a food group. I've done variations of different elimination diets over the years, and this was the longest I've ever gone for one specific large food category like dairy. So what did I learn by this? Well, number one, it's very hard. It's very, very difficult. It's also, I think, even more difficult if you also are in a family and you are feeding a family, your spouse, whatever, and kids. Taking out one category of food just creates some additional thought process that has to go into purchasing foods, planning your meals, and then remembering what you can and can't eat. And so made me a little crazy at times because I was very, very hungry and I was trying to prep food maybe for my kids or grabbing foods that I would normally be able to snack on. So it did help me realize how much dairy I was consuming. And I think I've scaled that back a little bit. I was eating cheese every day, definitely was using butter. And again, I don't think there's a big deal with that. If you choose wisely, you're buying good quality sourced from good animals, I think you're just fine. Of course, with the caveat that we're not consuming lots of dairy with lots of sugar in it. So I don't drink milk. I don't consume ice cream, except for a rare occasion. If I do, by the way, and that was the other thing, coming off of the dairy-free, what I realized is that I'm very satisfied with eating a lot less probably of those foods. And so I think what I missed most was butter. Butter has been a very, very big part of my diet every day. I would use butter in my coffee. I would use butter on my keto breads and rolls, and use butter, of course, on my keto waffles every weekend. And I have been known to take a cut of butter and just eat it, being on a high-fat, low-carb diet. And so what I did, and really was life-saving, was that I found this vegan butter that was not nasty junk, artificial. It was actually made with a blend of coconut oil and cashew and very little else. So there was a little bit of, I think, salt, life-saving. So I actually grew to actually like that. In fact, when I went back to butter in my coffee the last couple of days, I kind of missed that flavor. I don't know if it's because of a little bit of salt in there, because normally I use unsalted butter. So I really like both. And I may continue to use that some of the time. I got that at Trader Joe's, so it's this vegan, I forget the brand on it. I posted a picture a while before. So what else did I learn? The other big thing about eliminating a food for a 4 to 6 week period is that when you reintroduce those foods is really pay attention, and you can sometimes identify a food intolerance that you may not have known about. And so whereas when you eat something every day, your body has developed a tolerance to it, even though it might be causing an immune reaction and inflammation within the body. This could have really a lot of ramifications. It could cause elevated blood pressure. It could mess with your blood sugar. It could cause joint pain. It could cause headaches. It could cause sleep disturbances. It can cause hormone imbalances as it's tweaking it's stressing especially the adrenal system. So when I reintroduced the dairy, I was trying to pay attention, and I, as of yet, haven't seen any problems, any adverse reactions. So I added some butter. The next day, I had some cheese. I started with, I forget the name of the cheese. There was one that we had in the fridge, and so I had a few slices of that. Then I tried some Swiss. Let's see what else. I had blue cheese. So over the course of a few days, and by the way, if you are suspicious of having a dairy sensitivity, you probably want to go a little bit slower than quickly, meaning you don't want to introduce something new a couple times a day or even every day. Is to wait a couple of days and see how you feel. In my case, I guess I was fairly confident that I don't have a dairy allergy per se, and so I kind of went a little more quickly, had the butter, and next day I had a type of cheese, and then by the second, third day I was introduced to a couple of other cheeses. And so I also have had a little bit of the Greek yogurt that I use. Again, no problem. So I am excited though for this week, because I'm going to go into a more strict ketogenic diet, and I've already typically been eating that way, but I've been especially going dairy free. That was the other thing that happened, is that I found just to find foods and to fit into my lifestyle, I was having trouble staying as low carb, because all of a sudden I don't have the high fat dairy that I was normally consuming. And so I found myself eating, I have some whole grain corn-based crackers, rice crackers. I was using those a little bit into the evenings and snacks. So I would typically be high keto throughout the day, and then dinner I would have a little more carbohydrate than I typically would. So starting this Thursday, though, with dairy back on my plate, I'm going to be going more strict keto as we go into the keto diet. And if you are needing to be dairy free, you can definitely do the high fat, low carb diet and stay dairy free. You just have to be having the right foods around ingredients to be able to do that effectively. So I need to wrap this up. It's 1 o'clock. So thanks for watching. Please tune in this Thursday, or let someone know who you think might be interested in the keto diet, and I'd be happy to introduce them to it and support them wherever they are in that journey. So please feel free to comment and ask your questions. If you appreciate these videos, a thumbs up helps, and please feel free to subscribe to this channel. So again, thanks for watching.